people love him because, you know, he tells it like it is or whatever, and really he's just, you know, acting tough, whatever, you know, people think is tough, you know, just hurling insults at people and saying this about this person and that person and this people group and that people group, when really he's not really saying anything. He's not talking about making progress. He's not talking about real issues.
What I see with Donald Trump is someone that's not a puppet on a string. He's pretty much fully funded by himself, and so that, I think, is what makes a lot of people nervous about Donald Trump, that he doesn't have anyone to filter him.
When I think of him, I just get a little scared that he's running for presidency because just of the things he said and like most of his statements. So I don't usually typically have good thoughts about him.
I would say, among other things, this is something where Trump's view of reality is a little fragile. He'd like to build a wall and he'd like Mexico to pay for it, but as with some other things, I don't think he's really in touch with reality on that, and I don't think it would work.
I think that's really unfair to ask of them. It's going to force some division between our relationship with Mexico. I don't think any Mexican citizen would be supportive of that. Even if they're staying where they are, they have no desire to come here. I think it's really unfair to put that wedge between us as far as political relationships go.
That's unbelievably xenophobic. It's just, you know, we've moved past, you know, what Ted Cruz is saying about deport all of them. We've moved way past that with Donald Trump, because now he's saying we're going to take this specific people group. If their country doesn't comply, we're going to take this specific people group and we're going to punish them on our own soil. And that's one of the most racist things a president could possibly do.
I don't have too many ideas on immigration and everything, just because I try not to listen to him at all. I don't think, though, that we have the right to say that they don't belong here, because if we look back in history, we don't belong here because we took the land from the Indians. And so, yeah, I don't think he thinks through everything he says and does.
Like I said before, I think, you know, it doesn't come down to how, you know, getting rid of all this stuff. I think it comes down to being fair, and being fair would be, you know, making it easier, honestly, for people who have entered our country, albeit maybe not by the process, but make it easier for them to become citizens and become taxpayers, because honestly, that's what they want to do.
And I think the fact that he hasn't been really involved in politics or in a lot of other things means that he doesn't really know what's going on with things like the situation in the Middle East. You know, maybe he's very informed, but it doesn't look like he is. If he is, then the conclusions he's drawing seem to change a lot, and that is, I think, indicative of either a weak position or just not a lot of information, or something else is going on there.
I think that's more indicative of he's willing to adapt to whatever the culture is saying at the time, regardless of what the country needs. The country could be asking for one thing, or they could have some desires, the people could have some desires of something they want to get done. And he might be advocating the thing they want done at the moment, but it doesn't sound like he's thinking about the longer context.
I think intentions are good while running, but nobody really ever sticks to their ultimate goals, and that's one thing that I think Trump might actually do, is stick to that.